Act 1 of Sir Harry Wildair by George Farquhar. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Sir Harry Wildair, being the sequel of The Trip to the Jubilee, a comedy. This sequel to the Jubilee appeared at Drury Lane in 1701 and was almost as popular as its predecessor. The smartness of the dialogue, the witty comment upon the fashions of the hour, the merriment of the story, the vice and flippancy exhibited by its chief character, all specially appealed to the audience before whom it was produced, and the comedy had a run of several nights. It was revived at Lincoln's Inn Fields, February 1st, 1737. To the Right Honourable, the Earl of Albemarle, etc., Knight of the most noble order of the Garter. My Lord, my pen is both a novice in poetry and a stranger at court, and can no more raise itself to the style of panegyric than it can stoop to the art of flattery. But if in the plain and simple habit of truth it may presume to mix with that crowd of followers that daily attend upon your lordship's favour, please to behold a stranger, with this difference, that he pays more homage to your worth than adoration to your greatness. This distinction, my lord, will appear too nice and metaphysical to the world, who know your lordship's merit and place to be so inseparable, that they can only differ as the cause from the effect. And this, my lord, is as much beyond dispute as that your royal master, who has made the noble choice, is the most wise and most discerning prince in the universe. To present the world with a lively draught of your lordship's perfections, I should enumerate the judgment, conduct, piety, and courage of our great and gracious King, who can only place his favours on those shining qualifications for which his Majesty is so eminently remarkable himself. But this, my lord, will prove the business of voluminous history, and your lordship's character must attend the fame of your great master in the memoirs of futurity, as your faithful service has hitherto accompanied the noble actions of his life. The greatest princes in all ages have had their friends and favourites, with them to communicate and debate their thoughts, so to exercise and ripen their judgments, or sometimes to ease their cares by imparting them. The great Augustus, we read in his project of settling the unwieldy Roman conquests on a fixed basis of government, had the design laid, not in his council, but his closet. There we find him with his two friends, Maecenas and Agrippa, his favourite friends, persons of sound judgment and unquestionable fidelity. There the great question is freely and reasonably debated, without the noise of faction and the constraint of formality. And there was laid that prodigious scheme of government that soon recovered their bleeding country, healed the wounds of the Civil War, blessed the empire with a lasting peace, and styled his monarch Pater Patria. The parallel, my lord, is easily made. We have our Caesar, too, no less renowned than the forementioned Augustus. He first asserted our liberties at home against popery and thraldom, headed our armies abroad with bravery and success, gave peace to Europe and security to our religion. And you, my lord, are his Maecenas, the private counsellor to those great transactions which have made England so formidable to its enemies, that, which I blush to own, it is grown jealous of its friends. But here, my lord, appears the particular wisdom and circumspection of your lordship's conduct, that you so firmly retain the favour of your master without the envy of the subject. Your moderation and even deportment between both has secured to your lordship the ear of the king and the heart of the people. The nation has voted you their good angel in all suits and petitions to their prince, and their success fills 3 kingdoms with daily praises of your lordship's goodness and his Majesty's grace and clemency. And now, my lord, give me leave humbly to beg, that among all the good actions of your lordship's high and happy station, the encouragement of arts and literature may not be solely excluded from the influence of your favour. The polite Maecenas, whom I presumed to make parallel to your lordship in the favour of his prince, had his Virgil and his Horace, and his time was mostly divided between the emperor and the poet. He so managed his stake of royal favour that as Augustus made him great, so the Muses fixed him immortal. And Marrow's excellency, my lord, will appear the less wonder when we consider that his pen was so cherished with bounty and inspired by gratitude. But I can lay no claim to the merits of so great a person for my access to your lordship. I have only this to recommend me without art void of rhetoric, that I am a true lover of my king, and pay an unfeigned veneration to all those who are his trusty servants and faithful ministers, which infers that I am, my lord, with all submission, your lordship's most devoted and most obedient humble servant. G. Farquhar. Dramatis Personae.
Sir Harry Wildair, read by Peter Tucker.
Beau Banter,
A younger brother to Sir Harry,
read by Sonia.
Colonel Standard, read by Mike Harris.
Captain Fireball,
a naval officer, brother to Colonel Standard,
read by Craig Franklin.
Monsieur le Marquis,
a sharping refugee,
read by Thomas Peter.
Clincher,
the Jubilee beau turned politician,
read by Adrian Strowett.
Dicky,
servant to Sir Harry,
read by Alan Mapstone.
Shark,
servant to Captain Fireball,
read by Todd. Lord Bellamy, read by Todd.
Remnant the Tailor, read by Lydia.
Lady Lurwell, read by Abai.
Angelica, read by Sonia.
Polly, read by Lianya.
Chambermaid 1, read by Ariel Lipshaw.
Chambermaid 2, read by Kalinda.
Lady 1, read by Sandra Schmidt.
Lady 2, read by Carolyn Agee.
Footman, read by Todd.
And the stage directions are read by Marianne. Scene, London. Prologue. Our authors have, in most their late essays, prologued their own by damning other plays, made great harangues to teach you what was fit to pass for humour and go down for wit. Athenian rules must form an English piece, and Drury Lane comply with ancient Greece. Exactness only, such as Terence writ, must please our masked Lucretius in the pit. Our youthful author swears he cares not a pin for Vossius, Scaliger, Hadalin, or Rapin. He leaves to learned pens such laboured lays. You are the rules by which he writes his plays. From musty books let others take their view. He hates dull reading, but he studies you. First, from your beau, his lesson is formality, and in your footman there, most nice morality. Footnote. At this date footmen occupied the upper gallery of the theatre, without payment, whilst in attendance upon their masters. Their rude and turbulent conduct often gave rise to much comment. End footnote. To pleasure them his Pegasus must fly, because they judge and lodge 3 stories high. From the front boxes he has picked his style, and learns, without a blush, to make 'em smile. A lesson only taught us by the fair, a waggish action, but a modest air. Among his friends here in the pit he reads some rules that every modish writer needs. He learns from every Covent Garden critic's face the modern forms of action, time, and place. The action he's ashamed to name, d'ye see? The time is 7, the place is number 3. The masks he only reads by passant looks. He dares not venture far into their books. Thus, then, the pit and boxes are his schools, your air, your humour, his dramatic rules. Let critics censure then, and hiss like snakes. He gains his ends, if his light fancy takes St. James's Bow, and Covent Garden rakes. Sir Harry Wildair, being the sequel of The Trip to the Jubilee. Act 1, Scene 1, The Park. Enter Colonel Standard and Captain Fireball, meeting.
Ah, Brother Fireball, welcome ashore. What, heart whole, limbs firm, and frigate safe?
All, as my fortune and friends could wish.
And what news from the Baltic?
Why, yonder are 3 or 4 young boys in the north that have got globes and sceptres to play with. They fell to loggerheads about their playthings. The English came in like Robin Goodfellow, cried "Bo!" and made 'em be quiet.
In the next place, then, you're to congratulate my success. You have heard, I suppose, that I've married a fine lady with a great fortune.
Aye. 'Twas my first news upon landing that Colonel Standard had married the fine Lady Lirwell. A fine lady indeed, a very fine lady. But faith, brother, I had rather turn skipper to an Indian canoe than manage the vessel you're master of.
Why so, sir?
Because she'll run adrift with every wind that blows. She's all sail and no ballast. Shall I tell you the character I've heard of a fine lady? A fine lady can laugh at the death of her husband and cry for the loss of a lapdog. A fine lady is angry without a cause and pleased without a reason. A fine lady has the vapours all the morning and the colic all the afternoon. The pride of a fine lady is above the merit of an understanding head, yet her vanity will stoop to the adoration of a peruke, and, in fine, a fine lady goes to church for fashion's sake and to the basset table with devotion, and her passion for gaming exceeds her vanity of being thought virtuous or the desire of acting the contrary. We seamen speak plain, brother.
You seamen are like your element, always tempestuous, too ruffling to handle a fine lady.
Say you so? Why then, give me thy hand, honest Frank, and let the world talk on and be damned.
The world talk, say you? What does the world talk?
No, nothing at all. They only say what's usual upon such occasions, that your wife's the greatest coquette about the court, and your worship the greatest cuckold about the city. That's all.
How? How, sir?
That she's a coquette and you're a cuckold.
She's an angel in herself and a paradise to me.
She's an Eve in herself and a devil to you.
She's all truth and the world a liar.
Why then, egad, brother, it shall be so. I'll back again to White's, and whoever dares mutter scandal of my brother and sister, I'll dash his ratafia in his face and call him a liar.
Going.
Hold, sir. The world is too strong for us. Were scandal and detraction to be thoroughly revenged, we must murder all the beaux and poison half the ladies. Those that have nothing else to say must tell stories. Fools over Burgundy and ladies over tea must have something that's sharp to relish their liquor. Malice is the piquant sauce of such conversation, and without it their entertainment would prove mighty insipid. Now, brother, why should we pretend to quarrel with all mankind?
Because that all mankind quarrel with us.
The worst reason in the world. Would you pretend to devour a lion because a lion would devour you?
Yes, if I could.
Aye, that's right, if you could. But since you have neither teeth nor paws for such an encounter, lie quietly down, and perhaps the furious beast may run over you.
Stiff, sir. But I say that whoever abuses my brother's wife, though at the back of the king's chair, he's a villain.
No, brother, that's a contradiction. There's no such thing as villainy at court. Indeed, if the practice of courts were found in a single person, he might be styled villain with a vengeance. But number and power authorises everything, and turns the villain upon their accusers. In short, sir, every man's morals, like his religion nowadays, pleads liberty of conscience. Every man's conscience is his convenience, and we know no convenience but preferment. As, for instance, who would be so complacent as to thank an officer for his courage, when that's the condition of his pay? And who can be so ill-natured as to blame a courtier for espousing that which is the very tenure of his livelihood?
A very good argument in a very damnable cause. But, sir, my business is not with the court, but with you. I desire you, sir, to open your eyes, at least be pleased to lend an ear to what I heard just now at the chocolate house.
Brother.
Well, sir?
Did the scandal please you when you heard it?
No.
Then why should you think it should please me? Be not more uncharitable to your friends than to yourself, sweet sir. If it made you uneasy, there's no question but it will torment me, who am so much nearer concerned.
But would you not be glad to know your enemies?
Pshaw! If they abuse me, they are my friends, my intimate friends, my table company, and my pot companions.
Why then, brother, the devil take all your acquaintance. You were so rallied, so torn, there were 100 ranks of sneering white teeth drawn upon your misfortunes at once, which so mangled your wife's reputation, that you could never patch up her honour while she lives.
And their teeth were very white, you say?
Very white. Blood, sir, I say. They mangled your wife's reputation.
And I say that if they touched my wife's reputation with nothing but their teeth, her honour will be safe enough.
Then you won't hear it?
Not a syllable. Listening after slander is laying nets for serpents, which when you have caught will sting you to death. Let 'em spit their venom among themselves, and it hurts nobody.
Lord, Lord, how cuckoldom and contentment go together. Fie, fie, sir. Consider, you have been a soldier dignified by a noble post, distinguished by brave actions, an honour to your nation and a terror to your enemies. Hell, that a man who was storm-namer should become the jest of the coffee table. The whole house was clearly taken up with the two important questions, whether the colonel was a cuckold or Kid a pirate.
Aside.
This I cannot bear.
Aye, says a sneering coxcomb, the colonel has made his fortune with a witness. He has secured himself a good estate in this life, and a reversion in the world to come. Then replies another, I presume he's obliged to your lordship's bounty for the latter part of the settlement. There are others, says a third, that have played with my Lady Lerwell at piquet besides my lord. I have capoted her myself 2 or 3 times in an evening.
Oh, matrimonial patience, assist me.
Matrimonial patience? Matrimonial pestilence? Shake off those drowsy chains that fetter your resentments. If your wife has wronged ye, pack her off, and let her person be as public as her character. If she be honest, revenge her quarrel. I can stay no longer. This is my hour of attendance at the Navy Office. I'll come and dine with you. In the meantime, revenge. Think on.
Exit.
How easy is it to give advice, and how difficult to observe it. If your wife has wronged ye, pack her off. Aye, but how? The gospel drives the matrimonial nail, and the law clinches it so very hard, that to draw it again would tear the work to pieces. That her intentions have wronged me, here's a young bawd can witness.
Enter Parley, running across the stage.
Here, here, Mrs. Parley, whither so fast?
Oh, Lord! My master! Sir, I was running to Mademoiselle Furbello, the French milliner, for a new burgundy for my lady's head.
No, child. You're employed about an old-fashioned garniture for your master's head, if I mistake not your errand.
Oh, sir! There's the prettiest fashion lately come over. So airy, so French and all that. The pinners are double ruffled, with 12 plaits of a side, and open all from the face. The hair is frizzled all up round the head, and stands as stiff as a bodkin. Then the favourites hang loose upon the temples, with a languishing lock in the middle. Then the caul is extremely wide, and over all is a coronet raised very high, and all the lappets behind. I must fetch it presently.
Going.
Hold a little, child, I must talk with you.
Another time, sir. My lady stays for it.
One question first. What wages does my wife give you?
£10 a year, sir, which God knows is little enough, considering how I slave from place to place upon her occasions. But then, sir, my perquisites are considerable. I make above £200 a year of her old clothes.
Aside.
£200 a year by her old clothes? What then must her new ones cost?
Aloud.
But what do you get by visiting gallants and piquet?
About £100 more.
Aside.
£100 more? Now who can expect to find a lady's woman honest when she gets so much by being a jade?
Aloud.
What religion are you of, Mrs. Parley?
I can't tell.
What was your father?
A mountebank.
Where were you born?
In Holland.
Were you ever christened?
No.
How came that?
My parents are Anabaptists. They died before I was dipped. I then forsook their religion, and ha' gone ne'er a new one since.
I'm very sorry, madam, that I had not the honour to know the worth of your extraction sooner, that I might have paid you the respect due to your quality.
Sir, your humble servant.
Curtsies.
Have you any principles?
500.
Have you lost your maidenhead?
She puts on her mask and nods.
Do you love money?
Ja, mynheer.
Well, Mrs. Parley, now you have been so free with me, I tell you what you must trust to in return. Never come near my house again. Begone, monster! Fly! Hell and furies! Never christened! Her father a mountebank!
Lord, sir, you need not be so furious. Never christened? What then? I may be a very good Christian for all that, I suppose. Turn me off. Sir, you shan't. Meddle with your fellows. 'Tis my lady's business to order her women.
Aside.
Here's a young whore for you now. A sweet companion for my wife. Where there's such a hellish confidant, there must be damnable secrets.
Aloud.
Begone, I say! My wife shall turn you away.
Sir, she won't turn me away. She shan't turn me away, nor she can't turn me away. Sir, I say she dare not turn me away.
Why, you jade? Why?
Because I'm the mistress, not she.
You the mistress?
Yes, I know all her secrets, and let her offer to turn me off if she dares.
What secrets do you know?
Tell a wife's secrets to her husband. Very pretty, faith. Sure, sir, you don't think me such a Jew. Though I was never christened, I have more religion than that comes to.
Are you faithful to your lady for affection or interest?
Shall I tell you a Christian lie or a pagan truth?
Come, truth for once.
Why then? Interest. I have a great soul, which nothing can gain but a great bribe.
Well, though thou art a devil, thou art a very honest one. Give me thy hands, wench. Should not interest make you faithful to me as much as to others?
Honest to you? Marry for what? You gave me indeed 2 pitiful pieces the day you were married, but not a stiver since. One gallant gives me 10 guineas, another a watch, another a pair of pendants, a 4th a diamond ring, and my noble master gives me his linen to mend. I'll tell you a secret, sir. Stinginess to servants makes more cuckolds than ill nature to wives.
And am I a cuckold, Parley?
No, faith, not yet, though in a very fair way of having the dignity conferred upon you very suddenly.
Come, girl, you shall be my pensioner. You shall have a glorious revenue. For every guinea that you get for keeping a secret, I'll give you 2 for revealing it. You shall find a husband once in your life outdo all your gallants in generosity. Take their money, child. Take all their bribes. Give 'em hopes, give 'em assignations. Serve your lady faithfully, but tell all to me. By which means she will be kept chaste. You will grow rich, and I shall preserve my honour.
But what security shall I have of performance of articles?
Ready payment, child.
Then give me earnest.
5 guineas.
Gives her money.
Are they right? No grays in pieces amongst them. All right as my leg. Now, sir, I'll give you an earnest of my service. Who do you think has come to town?
Who?
Your old friend, Sir Harry Wildair.
Impossible.
Yes, faith, and as gay as ever.
And has he forgot his wife so soon?
Why, she has been dead now above a year. He appeared in the ring last night with such splendour and equipage that he eclipsed the beau, dazzled the ladies, and made your wife dream all night of 6 Flanders mares, 7 French liveries, a wig like a cloak, and a hat like a shuttlecock.
What are a woman's promises and oaths?
Wind, sir.
When I married her, how heartily did she condemn her light preceding conduct, and for the future vowed herself a perfect pattern of conjugal fidelity.
She might as safely swear, sir, that this day, se'night, at 4 o'clock, the wind will blow fair for Flanders. 'Tis presuming for any of us all to promise for our inclinations a whole week. Besides, sir, my lady has got the knack of coquetting it. and once a woman has got that in her head, she will have a touch on't everywhere else.
An oracle child. But now I must make the best of a bad bargain.
And since I have got you on my side,
I have some hopes that by constant disappointment and crosses in her designs, I may at last tire her into good behaviour.
Well, sir, the condition of the articles being duly performed, I stand the obligation, and will tell you farther, that by and by, Sir Harry Wildair is to come to our house to cards, and that there is a design laid to cheat him of his money.
What company will there be besides?
Why, the old set at the basset table. My Lady Love cards and the usual company. They have made up a bank of 1,500 louis d'or among them. The whole design lies upon Sir Harry's purse, and the French Marquis, you know, constantly taillé.
Aye, the French Marquis. That's one of your benefactors, Parley. The persecution of Basset in Paris finished us with that refugee.
But the character of such a fellow ought not to reflect on those who have been real sufferers for their religion.
But take no notice. Be sure only to inform me of all that passes. There's more earnest for you. Be rich and faithful.
Exit.
I am now not only woman to the Lady Lirrowell, but steward to her husband, in my double capacity of knowing her secrets, and commanding his purse. A very pretty office in a family. For every guinea that I get for keeping a secret, he'll give me 2 for revealing it. My comings in, at any rate, will be worth a master in Chancery's place, and many a poor Templar will be glad to marry me with half my fortune.
Going. Enter Dicky, meeting her.
Here's a man much fitter for your purposes.
Bless me, Mr. Dicky.
The very same in longitude and latitude. Not a bit diminished, not a hair's breadth increased. Dear Mrs. Parley, give me a bus, for I'm almost starved.
Why so hungry, Mr. Dicky?
Why, I haven't tasted a bit this year and a half, woman. I have been wandering about all over the world, following my master, and come home to dear London but 2 days ago. Now the devil take me if I had not rather kiss an English pair of pattens than the finest lady in France.
Then you were overjoyed to see London again?
Oh, I was just dead of a consumption, till the sweet smoke of Cheapside and the dear perfume of Fleet Ditch made me a man again.
But how came you to live with Sir Harry Wildair?
Why, seeing me a handsome, personable fellow, and well qualified for a livery, he took a fancy to my figure, that was all.
And what's become of your old master?
Oh, hang me, he was a blockhead, and I turned him off. I turned him away.
And were not you very sorry for the loss of your mistress, Sir Harry's lady? They say she was a very good woman.
Oh, the sweetest woman that ever the sun shined upon. I could almost weep when I think of her.
Wiping his eyes.
How did she die, pray? I could never hear how it was.
Give me a bus, then, and I'll tell ye.
You shall have your wages when your work's done.
Well, then, courage. Now for a doleful tale. You know that my master took a freak to go see that foolish Jubilee that made such a noise among us here. And no sooner said than done. Away he went. He took his fine French servants to wait on him, and left me, the poor English puppy, to wait upon his lady at home here. Well, so far so good. But scarce was my master's back turned, when my lady turned to sighing and pouting and whining and crying, and in short, fell sick upon.
Well, well, I know all this already, and that she plucked up her spirits at last, and went to follow him.
Very well. Follow him we did, far and far, and farther than I can tell, till we came to a place called Montpellier in France. A goodly place, truly. But Sir Harry had gone to Rome. There was our labour lost. But, to be short, my poor lady, with the tiresomeness of travelling, fell sick and died.
Cries.
Poor woman.
Aye, but that was not all. Here comes the worst of the story. Those cursed barbarous devils, the French, would not let us bury her.
Not bury her?
No, she was a heretic woman, and they would not let her corpse be put in their holy ground. Oh, damn their holy ground for me.
Aside.
Now had I not better be an honest pagan, as I am, than such a Christian as one of these?
Aloud.
But how did you dispose the body?
Why, there was one charitable gentlewoman that used to visit my lady in her sickness. She contrived the matter so that she had her buried in her own private chapel. This lady and myself carried her out upon our own shoulders through a back door at the hour of midnight, and laid her in a grave that I dug for her with my own hands. And if we had been catched by the priests, we had gone to the gallows without the benefit of clergy.
Oh, the devil take him. But what did they mean by a heretic woman?
I don't know. Some sort of cannibal, I believe. I know there are some cannibal women here in England that come to the playhouses in masks. But let 'em have a care how they go to France, for they are all heretics, I believe. But I'm sure my good lady was none of these.
But how did Sir Harry bear the news?
Why, you must know that my lady, after she was buried, sent me...
How? After she was buried?
Oh, why, Lord, mistress, you know what I mean. I went to Sir Harry all the way to Rome. And where do you think I found him?
Where?
Why, in the middle of a monastery among 150 nuns playing at hot cockles. He was surprised to see honest Dicky, you may be sure. But when I told him the sad story, he roared out a whole volley of English oaths upon the spot, and swore that he would set fire on the Pope's palace for the injury done to his wife. Then he flew away to his chamber, locked himself up for 3 days. We thought to have found him dead, but instead of that, he called for his best linen, fine wig, gilt coach, and laughing very heartily, swore again that he would be revenged, and bid them drive to the nunnery. And he was revenged, to some purpose.
How, dear Mr. Dicky?
Why, in a matter of 5 days, he got 6 nuns with child, and left them to provide for their heretic bastards. Ah, plague on 'em. They hate a dead heretic, but they love a piping hot warm heretic with all their hearts. So away we came. And thus did he jog on, revenging himself at this rate through all the Catholic countries that we passed till we came home. And now, Mrs. Parley, I fancy he has some designs of revenge too upon your lady.
Who could have thought that a man of his light, airy temper would have been so revengeful?
Why, faith, I'm a little malicious too. Where's the bus you promised me, you jade?
Follow me, you rogue.
Runs off.
Allons.
Follows. End of Act 1.
How do you find this book? Any thoughts about the book or the author? Any suggestion for improvement? Please take a moment to share your thoughts in a comment. If you like it, share it with your friends who might enjoy it as well. Subscribe to keep in touch. Visit CompleteAudiobooks.com for more quality content.
Act 2 of Sir Harry Wildair by George Farquhar. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Act 2, Scene 1. A room in Colonel Standard's house. Enter 2 chambermaids.
Are all things set in order? The toilet fixed, the bottles and combs put in form, and the chocolate ready?
'Tis no great matter whether they be right or not, for right or wrong we shall be sure of our lecture. I wish for my part that my time were out.
Nay, 'tis 100 to 1 but we may run away before our time be half expired, and she is worse this morning than ever. Here she comes.
Enter Lady Lurwell.
Aye, there's a couple of you indeed. But how in the name of negligence could you two contrive to make a bed as mine was last night? A wrinkle on one side and a rumple on the other, the pillows awry and the quilt askew. I did nothing but tumble about and fence with the sheets all night long. Ah, my bones ache this morning as if I had lain all night on a pair of Dutch stairs. Go, bring chocolate. And, d'ye hear? Be sure to stay an hour or two at least.
Excellent chambermaids.
Well, these English animals are so unpolished. I wish the persecution would rage a little harder, that we might have more of these French refugees among us. These wenches are gone to Smyrna for this chocolate.
Re-enter chambermaids with chocolate.
And what made you stay so long?
I thought we did not stay at all, madam.
Only an hour and a half by the slowest clock in Christendom. And such salvers and dishes too. The Lord be merciful to me, what have I committed to be plagued with such animals? Where are my New Japan salvers? Broke, oh my conscience, all to pieces, I'll lay my life on't.
No, indeed, madam, but your husband—
How? Husband? Impudence! I'll teach you manners.
Gives her a box on the ear.
Husband? Is that your Welsh breeding? Had the Colonel a name of his own?
Well, then, the Colonel. He used him this morning, and we ain't got him since.
How, the Colonel use my things? How dare the Colonel use anything of mine? But his campaign education must be pardoned. And I warrant they were feasted about among his dirty levee of disbanded soldiers. Faugh! The very thoughts of them fellows with their eager looks, iron swords, tied-up wigs, and tucked-in cravats makes me sick as death. Come, let me see.
Goes to take the chocolate, and starts back.
Heavens protect me from such a sight! Lord, girl, when did you wash your hands last? And have you been pawing me all this morning with them dirty fists of yours?
Runs to the glass.
I must dress all over again. Go, take it away, I shall swoon else. Here, Mrs. Munster, call up my tailor.
Exit first chambermaid.
And, do you hear? You, Mrs. Hobbyhorse, see if the company be come to cards yet.
Exit second chambermaid. Re-enter chambermaid with remnant.
Oh, Mr. Remnant! I don't know what ails these days you have made me, but something is the matter. I don't like them.
I am very sorry for that, madam. But what fault does your ladyship find?
I don't know where the fault lies, but in short I don't like them. I can't tell how. The things are well enough made, but I don't like them.
Are they too wide, madame?
No.
Too straight, perhaps?
Not at all. They fit me very well, but, Lord bless me, can't you tell where the fault lies?
Why, truly, madam, I can't tell, but your ladyship, I think, is a little too slender for the fashion.
How? Too slender for the fashion, say you?
Yes, madam, there's no such things as a good shape worn among the quality. Your fine waists are clear out, madam.
And why did you not plump up my stays to the fashionable size?
I made 'em to fit you, madam.
Fit me, fit my monkey. What? Do you think I wear clothes to please myself? Fit me. Fit the fashion, pray, no matter for me. I thought something was the matter. I wanted of quality air. Pray, Mr. Remnant, let me have a bulk of quality, a spreading contour. I do remember now the ladies in the apartments, the birth night, were most of them 2 yards about. Indeed, sir, if you contrive my things any more with your scanty chambermaid's air, you shall work no more for me.
I shall take care to please your ladyship for the future.
Exit. Enter footman.
Madam, my master desires—
Hold, hold, fellow, for God's sake, hold. If thou touch my clothes with that tobacco breath of thine, I shall poison the whole drawing-room. Stand at the door, pray, and speak.
Footman goes to the door and speaks.
My master, madam, desires—
Oh, hideous! Now the rascal bellows so loud that he tears my head to pieces.
To chambermaid.
Here, awkwardness, go take the booby's message and bring it to me.
Chambermaid goes to the door, whispers, and returns.
My master desires to know how your ladyship rested last night, and if you are pleased to admit of a visit this morning.
Aye.
Exeunt chambermaid and footman.
Why, this is civil. 'Tis an insupportable toil, though, for women of quality to model their husbands to good breeding.
Enter Colonel Standard.
Good morrow, my dearest angel. How have you rested last night?
Lord, Colonel, what a room have you made me here with your dirty feet? Bless me, sir, will you never be reclaimed from your slovenly campaign airs? 'Tis the most unmannerly thing in nature to make a sliding bow in a lady's chamber with dirty shoes. It writes rudeness upon the boards.
Aside.
A very odd kind of reception, this, truly.
Aloud.
I'm very sorry, madam, that the offences of my feet should create an aversion to my company. But for the future I shall honour your ladyship's apartment as the sepulchre at Jerusalem, and always come in barefoot.
Sepulchre at Jerusalem? Your compliment, sir, is very far-fetched. But your feet indeed have a very travelling air.
Come, my dear, no serious disputes upon trifles, since you know I never contend with you in matters of consequence. You are still mistress of your fortune, and marriage has only made you more absolute in your pleasure, by adding one faithful servant to your desires. Come, clear your brow of that uneasy chagrin, and let that pleasing air take place that first ensnared my heart. I have invited some gentlemen to dinner, whose friendships deserve a welcome look. Let their entertainment show how blessed you have made me, by a plentiful fortune and the love of so agreeable a creature.
Your friends, I suppose, are all men of quality?
Madam, they are officers and men of honour.
Officers and men of honour? That is, they will daub the stairs with their feet, stain all the rooms with their wine, talk bawdy to my women, rail at the Parliament, then at one another fall to cutting off throats, and break all my china.
Admitting that I kept such company, 'tis unkind in you, madam, to talk so severely of my friends. But my brother, my dear, is just come from his voyage, and will be here to pay his respects to you.
Sir, I shall not be at leisure to entertain a person of his whopping education, I can assure you.
Enter Parley, and whispers Lady Lorwell.
Sir, I have some business with my woman. You may entertain your sea-monster by yourself. You may command a dish of pork and peas, with a bowl of punch, I suppose. And so, sir, much good may do you. Come, Parley.
Exit with Parley.
Hell and furies.
Enter Captain Fireball.
With all my heart, where's your wife, brother? How now, man, what's the matter? Is dinner ready?
No, I don't know. Hang it, I'm sorry I invited you. For you must know that my wife is very much out of order, taken dangerously ill all of a sudden. So that...
Nothing but a marriage qualm, breeding children or breeding mischief. Where is she, man? Prithee, let me see her. I long to see this fine lady you have got.
Upon my word, she's very ill and can't see anybody.
So ill she can't see anybody? What, she's not in labour, sure? I tell you, I will see her. Where is she?
Looking about.
No, brother, she's gone abroad to take the air.
What the devil? Dangerous sick and gone out? So sick that she'll see nobody within, yet gone abroad to see all the world? Ah, you have made your fortunes with a vengeance. Then, brother, you shall dine with me at Locket's. I hate these family dinners where a man's obliged to, oh, Lord, madame. No apology, dear sir. 'Tis very good indeed, madame. For yourself, dear madame. Where between the rug floor underfoot, the china in one corner and the glasses in another, a man can't make 2 strides without hazard of his life. Commend me to a boy and a bell. Coming, sir. Much noise, no attendance, and a dirty room where I may eat like a horse, drink like a fish, and swear like a devil. Hang your family dinners. Come along with me.
Enter Banter, who, seeing them, seems to retire.
Who's that? Come in, sir. Your business, pray, sir?
Perhaps, sir, it may not be so proper to inform you, for you appear to be as great a stranger here as myself.
Come away, brother. He has some business with your wife.
His wife? Oh, Getzo. A pretty fellow. A very pretty fellow. A likely fellow, and a handsome fellow. I find nothing like a monster about him. I would fain see his forehead, though. Sir, your humble servant.
Yours, sir? But why do you stare so in my face?
I was told, sir, that the Lady Leowell's husband had something very remarkable over his eyes, by which he might be known.
Aside to Colonel Standard.
Mark that, brother.
Your information, sir, was right. I have a cross cut over my left eye that's very remarkable. But pray, sir, by what marks are you to be known?
Sir, I am dignified and distinguished by the name and title of Beau Banter. I'm younger brother to Sir Harry Wildair, and I hope to inherit his estate with his humour, for his wife, I'm told, is dead, and has left no child.
Oh, sir, I'm your very humble servant. You're not unlike your brother in the face. But methinks, sir, you don't become his humour altogether so well. For what's nature in him looks like affectation in you.
Oh, Lord, sir! 'Tis rather nature in me what is acquired by him. He's beholding to his education for his heir. Now, where do you think my humour was established?
Where?
At Oxford.
At Oxford?
Aye. There have I been sucking my dear alma mater these 7 years. Yet, in defiance to legs of mutton, small beer, crabbed books, and sour-faced doctors, I can dance a minuet, court a mistress, play at piquet, or make a paroli with any Wildair in Christendom. In short, sir, in spite of the university, I'm a pretty gentleman. Colonel, where's your wife?
Mimicking Banter.
In spite of the university, I'm a pretty gentleman. Then, Colonel, where is your wife? Hark ye, young Plato, whether would you have your nose slit or your ears cut?
First tell me, sir, which will you choose? To be run through the body or shot through the head?
Follow me and I'll tell ye.
Sir, my servants shall attend you, if you have no equipage of your own.
Blood, sir!
Hold, brother, hold. He's a boy.
Look here, sir, I keep 6 footmen that have no business upon earth but to answer impertinent questions. Now, sir, if your fighting stomach can digest these 6 brawny fellows for a breakfast, their master, perhaps, may do you the favour to run you through the body for a dinner.
Sir, will you fight me? I received just now 6 months' pay, and by this light I'll give you the half-foot for one fair blow at your skull.
Down with your money, sir.
No, brother. If you are so free of your pay, get into the next room. There you'll find some company at cards, I suppose. You may find opportunity for revenge. My house protects him now.
Well, sir, the time will come.
Exit.
Well said, brazenhead.
I hope, sir, you'll excuse the freedom of this gentleman. His education has been among the boisterous elements, the wind and the waves.
Sir, I value neither him nor his wind and waves neither. I am privileged to be very impertinent, being an Oxonian, and obliged to fight no man, being a beau.
I admire the freedom of your condition. But pray, sir, have you seen your brother since he came last over?
I haven't seen my brother these 7 years, and scarcely heard from him but by report of others. About a month ago he was pleased to honour me with a letter from Paris, importing his design of being in London very soon, with a desire of meeting me here. Upon this I changed my cap and gown for a long wig and sword, and came up to London to attend him. Went to his house, but that was all in sables for the death of his wife. There I was told that he designed to change his habitation, because he would avoid all remembrances that might disturb his quiet. You are the first person that has told me of his arrival, and I expect that you may likewise inform me where to wait on him.
And I suppose, sir, this was the business that occasioned me the honour of this visit?
Partly this, and partly an affair of greater consequence. You must know, sir, that though I have read 10,000 lies in the university, yet I have learned to speak the truth myself. And to deal plainly with you, the honour of this visit, as you were pleased to term it, was designed to the Lady Lurwell.
My wife, sir?
My Lady Lurwell, I say, sir.
But I say my wife, sir. What?
Why, look here, sir. You may have the honour of being called the Lady Lurwell's husband, but you will never find in any author, either ancient or modern, that she is called Mr. Standard's wife. 'Tis true you're a handsome young fellow. She liked you, she married you, and though the priest made you both one flesh, yet there's no small distinction in your blood. You are still a disbanded colonel, and she is still a woman of quality, I take it.
And you are the most impudent young fellow I've ever met with in all my life, I take it.
Sir, I am master of arts, and I plead the privilege of my standing.
Enter footman, and whispers banter.
Sir, the gentleman in the coach below says he'll be gone unless you come presently.
Exit.
I had forgot. Colonel, your humble servant.
Sir, you must excuse me for not waiting on you downstairs.
Exit banter.
An impudent young dog.
Exit. Scene 2. Another room in the same. Enter Lady Lurwell, Ladies Marquis and Captain Fireball, as losing gamesters, one after another, tearing their cards and flinging them about the room. Parley and several footmen attending.
Ruined, undone, destroyed.
Oh, fortune, fortune, fortune!
What will my husband say?
Oh, malheur, malheur, malheur.
Blood and fire! I've lost 6 months' pay.
110 pistoles, sink me.
Sink you? Sink me, that have lost 210 pistoles? Sink you, indeed?
But why would you hazard the bank upon one card?
Because me had lose by the card 3 times before. Look, dear madame, the very next card had been our. Oh, morbleu, qu'est-ce ça?
I relied altogether on your setting the cards. You used to tailler with success.
Morbleu, madame, me never lose before, but that monsieur Sir Harry, that Chevalier Wildair is the devil. There is the Chevalier.
Counting our money within yonder. Go, go, be gone, and bethink yourself of some revenge.
Exit Marquis.
Here he comes.
Enter Sir Harry Wildair.
1,570 louis d'or. Toll, dol, de roll. Look ye, gentlemen, anybody may dance to this tune. Toll, dol, de roll. I dance to the tune of £1,500. The most elevated piece of music that I ever heard in my life. They are the prettiest castanets in the world.
Chinks the money.
Here, waiters, there's cards and candles for you.
Gives the footman money.
Mrs. Parley, here's hoods and scarfs for you.
Gives her money. Excellent Parley and the footman.
And here's fine coaches, splendid equipage, lovely women, and victorious Burgundy for me. Oh, ye charming angels, the loser's sorrow and the gainer's joy, get ye into my pocket. Now, gentlemen and ladies, I am your humble servant. You'll excuse me, I hope, the small devotion here that I pay to my good fortune. How now, mute? Why, ladies, I know that losers have leave to speak, but I don't find that they're privileged to be dumb. Monsieur, ladies, Captain.
Claps Captain Fireball on the shoulder.
Death in hell! Why just strike me, sir?
Drawing.
To comfort you, sir. Your ear, Captain. The King of Spain is dead.
The King of Spain dead?
Dead as Julius Caesar. I had a letter on it just now.
Sings.
Well. Look ye, sir, pray strike me again if you please. See here, sir, you have left me but one solitary guinea in the world.
Puts it in his mouth.
Down it goes, i' faith. Anon for the thatched house and the Mediterranean. Tol-de-rel.
Exit singing.
Ha, ha, ha! Bravely resolved, Captain.
Bless me, Sir Harry, I was afraid of a quarrel. I am so much concerned.
At the loss of your money, madam. But why? Why should the fair be afflicted? Your eyes, ladies, much brighter than the sun, have equal power with him, and can transform to gold whate'er they please. The lawyer's tongue, the soldier's sword, the courtier's flattery, and the merchant's trade are slaves that dig the golden mines for you. Your eyes untie the miser's knotted purse.
To one lady.
Melt into coin the magistrate's massy chain. Youth mints for you hereditary lands.
To another lady.
And gamesters only win when they can lose to you.
To Lady Lorwell.
This lark is the most rhetorical thing in nature.
I have a great mind to forswear cards as long as I live.
And I.
Exit.
And I.
Exit crying.
What? Forswear cards? Why, madam, you'll ruin our trade. I'll maintain that the money at court circulates more by the Basset Bank than the wealth of the merchants by the Bank of the City. Cards, the great ministers of fortune's power, that blindly shuffle out her thoughtless favours and make a knave more powerful than a king. What adoration do these powers receive?
Lifting up a card.
From the bright hands and fingers of the fair, always lift up to pay devotion here. And then the pleasing fears, the anxious hopes, and dubious joy that entertain our mind. The capot at piquet, the paroli at basset, and then ombre. Who can resist the charms of matadores?
Aye, Sir Harry, and then the sept leva, quinze leva, and trente leva.
Right, madam.
Then the 9 of diamonds at Comet, 3 5s at cribbage, and Pam in Lanterloo, Sir Harry.
Aye, madam, these are charms indeed. Then the pleasure of picking your husband's pocket overnight to play at basset next day. Then the advantage a fine gentleman may make of a lady's necessity by gaining a favour for 50 pistoles, which 100 years' courtship could never have produced.
Nay, Sir Harry, that's foul play.
Nay, madam, 'tis nothing but the game, and I have played it so in France 100 times.
Come, sir, no more on't. I'll tell you in 3 words that rather than forego my cards, I'll forswear my visits, fashions, my monkey, friends, and relations.
There spoke the spirit of true-born English quality, with a true French education.
Look ye, Sir Harry, I am well born, and I was well bred. I brought my husband a large fortune. He shall mortgage, or I will elope.
No, madam, there's no occasion for that. See here, madam.
What? The singing birds, Sir Harry? Let me see.
Phew, madam, these are but a few. But I could wish, de tout mon cœur pour quelque commodité, where I might be handsomely plundered of them.
Ah, chevalier, toujours obligeant, engageant, et tout ça.
Allons, allons, madame, tout à votre service.
Pulls her.
No, no, Sir Harry, not at this time of day. You shall hear from me in the evening.
Then, madam, I'll leave you something to entertain you the while. 'Tis a French pocket-book, with some remarks of my own upon the new way of making love. Please to peruse it, and give me your opinion in the evening.
Exit. Opening the book.
A French pocket-book, with remarks upon the new way of making love. Then Sir Harry is turning author, I find. What's here? A bank bill for £100. The new way of making love. Pardi, c'est fort galant. One of the prettiest remarks that ever I saw in all my life. Well now, that Wildair is a charming fellow. He has such an air and such a turn in what he does. I warrant now there's 100 homebred blockheads would come. Madam, I'll give you 100 guineas if you'll let me. Faugh! Hang their nauseous, immodest proceedings. Here's £100 now, and he never names the thing. I love an impudent action with an air of modesty, with all my heart.
Exit. End of Act 2. Act 3 of Sir Harry Wildair by George Farquhar. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Act 3, Scene 1. A room in Colonel Standard's house. Lady Lorwell and Marquis.
Well, monsieur, and have you thought how to retaliate your ill fortune?
Madame, I have thought that fortune be one blind bitch. Why should fortune be kinder to the Anglais chevalier than to the France marquis? Have I not been bon grâce? Have I not the personnage? Have I not the understanding? Can the Anglais chevalier dance better than I? Can the Anglais chevalier fence better than I? Can the Anglais chevalier play basset better than I? Then why should fortune be kinder to the Anglais chevalier than the France marquis?
Why? Because fortune is blind.
Blind? Yes, beggar, and dumb and deaf too. Well then, fortune give the Angleman the riches, but nature give the Frenchman the politique to correct the unequal distribution.
But how can you correct it, monsieur?
Écoute, madame, Sir Harry Wildair, his wife, is dead.
And what advantage can you make of that?
Beggar, madame. The Angleman's dead wife shall cuckold their husband.
How, sir? A dead woman cuckold her husband?
Mark, madame, we Frenchmen make a distinction between the design and the term of the treaty. She cannot touch his head, but she can cuckold his pocket of 10,000 livres.
Pray explain yourself, sir.
I have Sir Harry Wildair, his wife, in my pocket.
How? Sir Harry's wife in your pocket?
Hold, madame. There is an ultra distinction between the design and the term of the treaty.
Pray, sir, no more of your distinctions, but speak plain.
When the Frenchman's politique is in his head, there is nothing but distinction upon his tongue. See here, madame, I have the picture of Sir Harry's wife in my pocket.
Is it possible?
Voyez.
The very same, and finely drawn. Pray, monsieur, how did you purchase it?
As me did purchase the picture, so me did gain the substance, the dear, dear substance, by the bon mien, des Français, chantant, charmant de politique à la tête, and dansant à la pied.
Lord bless me, how cunningly some women can play the rogue. Ah, have I found it out? Now, as I hope for mercy, I'm glad on it. I hate to have any woman more virtuous than myself. Here was such a work with my Lady Wildair's piety, my Lady Wildair's conduct, and my Lady Wildair's fidelity, forsooth. Now, dear monsieur, you have infallibly told me the best news that I ever heard in my life. Well, and she was but one of us, eh?
Oh, madame, me no tell tale, me no scandalize the dead. The picture be dumb, the picture say nothing.
Come, come, sir, no more distinctions. I'm sure it was so. I would have given the world for such a story of her while she was living. She was charitable, forsooth, and she was devout, forsooth, and everybody was twitted its teeth with my Lady Wildair's reputation. And why don't you mark her behaviour and her discretion? She goes to church twice a day. Ah, I hate these congregation women. There's such a fuss and such a clutter about their devotion that it makes more noise than all the bells in the parish. Well, but what advantage can you make now of the picture?
The advantage of 10,000 livres, pardi. Attendez-vous, madame. This lady she died at Montpellier in France. I have the brother in that city that writes me one account that she died in that city, and that she sent me this picture as a legacy, with 1,000 baisements to the dear Marquis, the charmant Marquis, mon cœur le Marquis.
Aye, here was devotion, here was discretion, here was fidelity. Mon cœur le Marquis. Well, but how will this procure the money?
Now, madame, for the France politique.
Eh? What is the French politic?
Never to tell a secret to a woman. Madame, je suis votre serviteur.
Runs off.
Hold, hold, sir. We shan't part so. I will have it.
Follows. Enter Colonel Standard and Captain Fireball.
Ah, look here there, brother. See how they coquette it? Ah, there's a look, there's a simper, there's a squeeze for you. Aye, now the Marquis is at it. Mon cœur, ma foi, pardi, allons. Don't you see how the French rogue has the head and the feet and the hands and the tongue all going together?
Walking in disorder.
Where's my reason? Where's my philosophy? Where's my religion now?
I'll tell you where they are. In your forehead, sir. Blood, I say, revenge.
But how, dear brother?
Why, stab him now. Italian, Spaniard, I say.
Stab him? Why, Cockledum's a hydra that bears 1,000 heads, and though I should cut this one off, the monster would still sprout. Must I murder all the fops in the nation? And to save my head from horns, expose my neck to the halter?
'Sdeath, sir. Can't you kick and cuff? Kick one.
Cane another.
Cut off the ears of a third.
Slit the nose of a fourth.
Tear cravats.
Burn perukes.
Shoot their coach horses.
A noble plot. But now it's laid, how shall we put it in execution? For not one of these fellows stirs about without his garde du corps. Then they're stout as heroes. For I can assure you that a bow with 6 footmen shall fight you any gentleman in Christendom.
Enter footman.
Sir, here's Mr. Clincher below, who begs the honour to kiss your hand.
Aye, why, here's another bow.
Let him come. I'll show you how to manage a bow presently.
Hold, sir. This is a simple, inoffensive fellow, that will rather make us diversion.
Diversion, eh? Why, I'll knock him down for diversion.
No, pray be quiet. I gave him a surfeit of intriguing some months ago, before I was married. Here, bid him come up.
Exit footman.
He's worth your acquaintance, brother.
My acquaintance? What is he?
A fellow of a strange weathercock head, very hard, but light as the wind, constantly full of the times, and never fails to pick up some humour or other out of the public revolutions that proves diverting enough. Some time ago he had got the travelling maggot in his head, and was going to the Jubilee upon all occasions.
But lately, since the new revolution in Europe, another spirit has possessed him, and he runs stark mad after news and politics.
Enter Clincher.
News, Colonel, great. Eh? What's this fellow? Methinks he has a kind of suspicious air. Your ear, Colonel. The Pope's dead.
Where did you hear it?
Whispering.
I read it in the public news.
And why do you whisper it for a secret?
Odd so. Faith, that's true. But that fellow there, what is he?
My brother Fireball, just come home from the Baltic.
Odd so. Noble captain, I'm your most humble and obedient servant, from the poop to the forecastle. Nay, a kiss on the other side, pray. Now, dear captain, tell us the news. Odd so. I'm so pleased to have met you. Well, the news, dear captain. You sailed a brave squadron of men of war to the Baltic. Well, and what then? Eh?
Why, then, we came back again.
Did you, Faith? Foolish, very foolish. A right sea captain. But what did you do? How did you fight? What storms did you meet, and what whales did you see?
We had a violent storm off the coast of Jutland.
Jutland? Aye, that's part of Portugal. Well, and so, you entered the Sound, and you mauled Copenhagen, Faith, and then that pretty, dear, sweet, pretty King of Sweden. What sort of man is he, pray?
Why, tall and slender.
Tall and slender? Much about my pitch, eh?
Not so gross, nor altogether so low.
No, I'm sorry for it. Very sorry indeed.
Enter Parley to the door. Clincher beckons her with his hands behind, going backwards, and speaking to her and the gentleman by turns.
Well, and what more? And so you bombarded Copenhagen. Mrs. Parley? Whiz, slap went the bombs. Mrs. Parley? And so, well, not altogether so gross, you say. Here's a letter, you, Jade. Very tall, you say. Is the king very tall? Here's a guinea, you, Jade.
Parley takes the letter and exit. Colonel Standard observes him.
Colonel, I'm mightily troubled with the physic of late. A strange stoppage of my breast here. But now it is all off again. Well, but Captain, you tell us no news at all.
I'll tell you one piece that all the world knows, and still you are a stranger to it.
Bless me, what can this be?
That you are a fool.
Eh? Witty, sea captain? Oh, so. And I wonder, Captain, that your understanding did not split your ship to pieces.
Why so, sir?
Because, sir, it is so very shallow, very shallow. There's wit for you, sir.
Re-enter Parley, and gives Colonel Standard a letter.
Odd so, a letter. Then there's news. What? Is it a foreign post? What news, dear Colonel, what news? Hark ye, Mrs. Parley?
Talks with Parley while Colonel Standard reads the letter.
The son of a whore, is it he?
Reads.
Dear Madam, I was afraid to break upon the seal of your letter, lest I should violate the work of your fair hands. Oh, fulsome fop! I therefore, with the warmth of my kisses, thawed it asunder. Ay, here's such a turn of style as takes a fine lady. I have no news but that the Pope's dead, and I have some packets upon that affair to send to my correspondent in Wales. But I shall waive all business and hasten to wait on you at the hour appointed, with the wings of a flying post. Yours, Toby Clincher. Very well, Mr. Toby. Hark ye, brother, this fellow's a rogue.
A damned rogue.
See here, a letter to my wife.
Death! Let me tear him to pieces.
No, We'll manage him to more advantage. Take him with you to Locket's, and invent some way or other to fuddle him. Here, Mr. Clincher, I have prevailed on my brother here to give you a very particular account of the whole voyage to the Sound by his own journal, if you please to honour him with your company at Locket's.
His own journal? Odd so, let me see it.
Show it him.
Here, sir.
Now for news.
Reads.
Thursday, August the 17th, from the 6th noon to this day noon. Winds variable, courses per traverse, true course protracted, with all implements allowed. Is north 45 degrees, west 60 miles. Difference of latitude 42 miles, departure west 40 miles. Latitude per judgment 54 degrees, 13 minutes. Meridian distance. Current from the bearing of the land, and the latitude is 88 miles. What so? A great news, faith. Let me see. At noon broke out our main topsail yard, being rotten in the slings. 2 whales southward. Odd so, a whale. Great news, faith. Come, along, Captain. But do you hear? With this proviso, gentlemen, that I won't drink. For, hark ye, Captain, between you and I, there's a fine lady in the wind, and I shall have the longitude and latitude of a fine lady, and the...
Aside.
A fine lady? Ah, the rogue.
Yes, a fine lady, Colonel. A very fine lady. Come, no ceremony, good Captain.
Exit with Captain Fireball.
Well, Mrs. Parley, how go the rest of our affairs?
Why, worse than worse, sir. Here's more mischief still. More branches are sprouting.
Of whose planting, pray?
Why, that impudent young rogue, Sir Harry Wildair's brother, has commenced a suit, and feed counsel already. Look here, sir, 2 pieces, for which, by article, I am to receive 4.
Aside.
'Tis a hard case now that a man must give 4 guineas for the good news of his dishonour. Some men throw away their money in debauching other men's wives, and I lay out mine to keep my own honest. But this is making a man's fortune.
Aloud.
Well, child, there's your pay, and I expect when I come back a true account how the business goes on.
But suppose the business be done before you come back?
No. She hasn't seen him yet, and her pride will preserve her against the first assaults. Besides, I shan't stay.
Exeunt. Scene 2. Another room in the same. Enter Sir Harry Wildair and Lady Lorwell.
Well, now, Sir Harry, this book you gave me. As I hope to breathe, I think 'tis the best penned piece I have seen a great while. I don't know any of our authors have written so florid and genteel a style.
Upon the subject, madam, I dare affirm there is nothing extant more moving. Look ye, madam, I am an author rich in expressions. The needy poets of the age may fill their works with rhapsodies of flames and darts. Their barren sighs and tears, their speaking looks and amorous vows that might in Chaucer's time perhaps have passed for love. But now 'tis only such as I can touch that noble passion, and by the true persuasive eloquence, turned in the moving style of Louis d'Or, can raise the ravished female to a rapture. In short, madam, I'll match Cowley in softness, o'ertop Milton in sublime, banter Cicero in eloquence, and Dr. Swan in quibbling, by the help of that most ingenious society called the Bank of England.
Aye, Sir Harry, I begin to hate that old thing called love. They say 'tis clear out in France.
Clear out, clear out! Nobody wears it. And here, too, honesty went out with the slashed doublets, and love with those close-bodied gowns. Love, 'tis so obsolete, so mean, and out of fashion, that I can compare it to nothing but the miserable picture of Patient Grizzle at the head of an old ballad. Faugh!
The best emblem in the world. Come, Sir Harry, faith will run it down. Love. Ay, methinks I see the mournful Melpomene with her handkerchief at her eye, her heart full of fire, her eyes full of water, her head full of madness, and her mouth full of nonsense. Oh, hang it!
Ay, madam, then the doleful ditties, piteous plaints, the daggers, the poisons.
Oh, the vapours.
Then a man must kneel, and a man must swear.
Aside.
There is a repose, I see, in the next room.
Unnatural stuff.
Oh, madam, the most unnatural thing in the world, as fulsome as a sack posset.
Pulling her towards the door.
Ungenteel as a wedding ring, and as impudent as the naked statue was in the park.
Pulls her again.
Ay, Sir Harry, I hate love that's impudent. These poets dress it up so in their tragedies that no modest woman can bear it. Your way is much the more tolerable, I must confess.
Ay, madam, I hate your rude whining and sighing. It puts a lady out of countenance.
Pulling her.
Truly, so it does. Hang their impudence. But where are we going?
Only to rail at love, madam.
Pulls her in. Enter Banter.
Hey, who's here?
Re-enter Lady Lorwell.
Pshaw, prevented. By a stranger, too. Had it been my husband now. Pshaw. Very familiar, sir.
Madam, you have dropped your hat.
It takes up Sir Harry's hat that was dropped in the room.
Discovered, too, by a stranger. What shall I do?
Within.
Madam, you have got the most confounded pens here. Can't you get the Colonel to write the superscriptions of your letters for you?
Lord bless me, Sir Harry, don't you know that the Colonel can't write French? Your time is so precious.
Shall I direct by way of Rouen or Paris?
Which you will.
Madam, I very much applaud your choice of a secretary. He understands the intrigues of most courts in Europe, they say.
Re-enter Sir Harry Wildair with a letter.
Here, madam, I presume 'tis right. This gentleman a relation of yours, madam? Damn him.
Brother, your humble servant.
Brother? By what relation, sir?
Begotten by the same father, born of the same mother, brother kindred and brother beau.
Hey day, how the fellow strings his genealogy. Look ye, sir, you may be brother to Tom Thumb for aught I know, but if you are my brother, I could have wished you in your mother's womb for an hour or two longer.
Sir, I received your letter at Oxford, with your commands to meet you in London, and if you can remember your own hand, there 'tis.
Gives a letter. Looking over the letter.
Pray, sir, let me consider you a little. By Jupiter, a pretty boy, a very pretty boy. A handsome face, good shape.
Walks about and views him.
Well dressed. The rogue has a good leg, too. Come, kiss me, child. Aye, he kisses like one of the family, the right velvet lip. Canst thou dance, child?
Oui, monsieur.
Heyday! French, too! Why, sure, sir, you could never be bred at Oxford.
No, madam, my clothes were made in London. Brother, I have some affairs of consequence to communicate, which require a little privacy.
Oh, sir, I beg your pardon. I'll leave you. Sir Harry, you'll stay supper?
Assurément, madame.
Yes, madam, we'll both stay.
Exit Lady Lorwell.
Both? Sir, I'll send you back to your mutton commons again. How now?
No, no, I shall find better mutton commons by messing with you, brother. Come, Sir Harry, if you stay, I stay. If you go, allons.
The devil's in this young fellow. Why, sirrah, hast thou any thoughts of being my heir? Why, you dog, you ought to pimp for me. You should keep a pack of wenches a purpose to hunt down matrimony. Don't you know, sir, that lawful wedlock in me is certain poverty to you? Look here, Sarah, come along, and for my disappointment just now, if you don't get me a new mistress tonight, I'll marry tomorrow, and won't leave you a groat. Go, pimp, like a dutiful brother.
Pushes him out and exit. End of Act 3. Act 4 of Sir Harry Wildair by George Farquhar. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Act 4, Scene 1, a tavern. Enter Captain Fireball, holding in Clincher.
Come, sir, not drink the king's health?
Pray now, good captain, excuse me. Look here, sir.
Pulling out his watch.
The critical minute, Faith.
What do you mean, sir?
The lady's critical minute, sir. Sir, your humble servant.
Going.
Well, the death of the Spanish king will...
Returning.
Eh? What's that of the Spanish king? Tell me, dear captain, tell me.
Sir, if you please to sit down, I'll tell you that old Don Carlos is dead.
Dead? Nay, then.
Sits down.
Here, pen and ink, boy. Pen and ink presently. I must write to my correspondent in Wales straight. Dead.
Rises and walks about in disorder.
What's the matter, sir?
Politics. Stark mad with politics.
'Sdeath, sir. What have such fools as you to do with politics?
What, sir? The succession. Not mind the succession.
Nay, that's minded already. 'Tis settled upon the Prince of France.
What? Settled already? The best news that ever came into England. Come, captain, faith and troth. Captain, here's a health to the succession.
Burn the secession, sir. I won't drink it. What? Drink confusion to our trade, religion, and liberties?
Aye, by all means. As for trade, do you see? I'm a gentleman, and hate it mortally. These tradesmen are the most impudent fellows we have, and spoil all our good manners. What have we to do with trade?
A trim politician, truly. What do you think of our religion, pray?
Hi. Religion. And what has a gentleman to do with religion, pray? And to hear a sea captain talk of religion, that's pleasant, faith.
And have you no regard to our liberties, sir?
Pshaw! Liberties? That's a jest. We both shall have liberty to whore and drink in any government, and that's all we care for.
Enter Colonel Standard.
Dear Colonel, the rarest news.
Damn your news, sir. Why are you not drunk by this?
A very civil question, truly.
Here, boy, bring brandy. Fill.
This is a piece of politics that I don't so well comprehend.
Here, sir, drink it off, or...
Draws.
Expect your throat cut.
Aye, this comes of the succession. Fire and sword already.
Come, sir, off with it.
Pray, Colonel, what have I done to be burned alive?
Drink, sir, I say.
Aside to Captain Fireball.
Brother, manage him. I must be gone.
Exit.
Aye, drink, sir.
Eh? What the devil, attacked both by sea and land? Look ye, gentlemen, if I must be poisoned, pray let me choose my own dose. Were I a lord now, I should have the privilege of the block. And as I am a gentleman, pray stifle me with claret at least. Don't let me die like a board with brandy.
Brandy? You dog abuse brandy? That treason against the Royal Navy. Sirrah, I'll teach you to abuse the fleet. Here, Shark!
Enter Shark.
Get 3 or 4 of the ship's crew and press this fellow aboard the Beelzebub.
Aye, master.
Exit.
What? Aboard the Beelzebub? Nay, Nay, dear captain, I'll choose to go to the devil this way. Here, sir, your good health. And my own confusion, I'm afraid.
Drinks it off.
Oh, fire! Fire! Flames! Brimstone and tobacco!
Beats his stomach.
Here, quench it then. Take the glass, sir.
What? Another broadside? Nay, then I'm sunk downright. Dear captain, give me quarter. Consider the present juncture of affairs. You'll spoil my head, ruin my politics. Faith, you will.
Here, shark!
Well, well, I will drink. The devil take shark for me.
Drinks.
Whiz! Buzz! Don't you hear it? Put your ear to my breast and hear how it whizzes like a hot iron. Eh? Bless me, how the ship rolls. I can't stand upon my legs, faith. Dear captain, give me a kiss. Aye, burn the succession. Look ye, captain, I shall be seasick presently.
Falls into Captain Fireball's arms. Re-enter Shark and a sailor with a chair.
Here, in with him.
Aye, aye, sir. Avast, avast.
They put Clincher into the chair.
Here, boy. No Nantes left?
Tops the glass.
Bring him along.
Politics, politics, brandy politics.
Exeunt. Scene 2. A room in Colonel Standard's house. Enter Lady Lurwell and Parley.
Did you ever see such an impudent young rogue as that Banter? He followed his brother up and down from place to place so very close that we could not so much as whisper.
I reckon Sir Harry will dispose of him now, madam, where he may be secured. But I wonder, madam, why Clincher comes not according to his letter. 'Tis near the hour.
I wish, Parley, that no harm may befall me today, for I had a most frightful dream last night. I dreamt of a mouse.
'Tis strange, madam, you should be so much afraid of that little creature that can do you no harm.
Look ye, girl, we women of quality have each of us some darling fright. I, now, hate a mouse. My Lady Lovecards abhors a cat. Mrs. Fiddlefan can't bear a squirrel. The Countess of Piquet abominates a frog, and my Lady Swimmer hates a man.
Enter Marquis, running.
Madame, 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 regardez, voyez, l'argent, l'argent.
Shows a bag of money.
As I hope to breathe, he has got it. Well, but how? How, dear monsieur?
Madame, beggar, Monsieur Sir Harry Wildair. Voyez, madame, me did tell him that my brother in Montpellier did furnish his lady with 10,000 livres for the expense of her travail, and that she not being able to write when she was dying, did give him the picture for the certificate and the credential to receive the money from her husband. Marquis.
The best plot in the world. You told him that your brother lent her the money in France, when her bills, I suppose, were delayed. You put in that, I presume?
Oui, oui, madame.
And that upon her deathbed she gave your brother the picture as a certificate to Sir Harry that she had received the money, which picture your brother sent over to you, with commission to receive the debt?
Assurément. There was the politique, the France politique. See, madame, what he can do, the France Marquis. He did make the Anglais lady cockle her husband when she was living, and shit him when she was dead, beggar. Oh, pardon, c'est bon.
Aye, but what did Sir Harry say?
Oh, beggar Monsieur Chevalier, he love his wife. He say that if she take up 100,000 livres, he would repay it. He knew the picture, he say, and order me the money from his steward. Oh, Notre Dame, Monsieur Sir Harry be one dupe.
Well, but, monsieur, I long to know one thing. Was the conquest you made of this lady so easy? What assaults did you make? And what resistance did she show?
Resistance against the France Marquis? Oui, madame. There was 3 douilleurs, 1 serenade, and 2 capres. That was all beggar.
Chatillonté. There's nothing in nature so sweet to a longing woman as a malicious story. Well, monsieur, 'tis about £1,000. We go snacks.
Snack? Party, for what? Why snack, madame? Me will give you the present of 50 louis d'or. That is very good snack for you.
And you'll give me no more? Very well.
Very well. Yes, beggar is very well. Consider, madame, me be the poor refugee. Me have nothing but the religious charity and the France politique, the fruit of my own address. That is all.
Aye, an object of charity, with £1,000 in his fist. Hum.
Knocking below. Exit parley.
Oh, monsieur, that's my husband. I know his knock. He must not see you. Get into the closet till by and by.
Hurries him in.
And if I don't be revenged upon your France politique, then I have no English politique. Hang the money! I would not for twice £1,000 forbear abusing this virtuous woman to her husband.
Re-enter parley.
To Sir Harry, madam.
As I could wish. Chairs.
Enter Sir Harry Wildair.
Here, Mrs. Parley, in the first place I sacrifice a louis d'or to thee, for good luck.
A guinea, sir, will do as well.
No, no, child. French money is always most successful in bribes, and very much in fashion, child.
Exit parley. Enter Dicky, and runs to Sir Harry.
Sir, will you please to have your own nightcaps?
Sirrah!
Sir, sir! Shall I order your chair to the back door by 5 o'clock in the morning?
The devil's in the fellow. Get you gone.
Dicky runs out.
Now, dear madam, I have secured my brother. You have disposed the colonel, and we may rail at love till we ha'n't a word more to say.
Aye, Sir Harry. Please to sit a little, sir. You must know I'm in a strange humour of asking you some questions. How did you like your lady, pray, sir?
Like her? So very well, faith, that for her very sake I'm in love with every woman I meet.
And did matrimony please you extremely?
So very much, that if polygamy were allowed, I would have a new wife every day.
Oh, Sir Harry, this is raillery. But your serious thoughts upon the matter, pray?
Why then, madam, to give you my true sentiments of wedlock. I had a lady that I married by chance. She was virtuous by chance, and I loved her by great chance. Nature gave her beauty, education, and air, and fortune threw a young fellow of 25 in her lap. I courted her all day, loved her all night. She was my mistress one day, my wife another. I found in one the variety of 1,000, and the very confinement of marriage gave me the pleasure of change.
And she was very virtuous?
Look you, madam, you know she was beautiful. She had good nature about her mouth, the smile of beauty in her cheeks, sparkling wit in her forehead, and sprightly love in her eyes.
Pshaw, I knew her very well. The woman was well enough. But you don't answer my question, sir.
So, madam, as I told you before, she was young and beautiful. I was rich and vigorous. My estate gave a lustre to my love, and a swing to our enjoyment. Round, like the ring that made us one, our golden pleasures circled without end.
Golden pleasures, golden fiddlesticks, what do you tell me of your canting stuff? Was she virtuous, I say?
Ready to burst with envy, but I will torment thee a little. So, madam, I powdered to please her, she dressed to engage me. We toyed away the morning in amorous nonsense, lolled away the evening in the park or the playhouse, and all the night...
Look ye, sir, answer my question, or I shall take it ill.
Then, madam, there was never such a pattern of unity. Her wants were still prevented by my supplies. My own heart whispered me her desires, 'cause she herself was there. No contention ever rose, but the dear strife of who should most oblige. No noise about authority, for neither would stoop to command, 'cause both thought it glory to obey.
Stuff, stuff, stuff! I won't believe a word on't.
Then, madam, we never felt the yoke of matrimony, because our inclinations made us one, a power superior to the forms of wedlock. The marriage torch had lost its weaker light in the bright flame of mutual love that joined our hearts before. Then—
Hold, hold, sir! I cannot bear it. Sir Harry, I'm affronted.
Affronted?
Yes, sir, 'tis an affront to any woman to hear another commended, and I will resent it. In short, Sir Harry, your wife was a—
Buzz, madam. No detraction. I'll tell you what she was. So much an angel in her conduct, that though I saw another in her arms, I should have thought the devil had raised the phantom, and my more conscious reason had given my eyes the lie.
Very well, then I aren't to be believed, it seems. But do you hear, sir?
Nay, madam, do you hear? I tell you, 'tis not in the power of malice to cast a blot upon her fame, and though the vanity of our sex and the envy of yours conspired both against her honour, I would not hear a syllable.
Stopping his ears.
Why, then, as I hope to breathe, you shall hear it.
Bawling aloud.
The picture, the picture, the picture!
Oh, Ran-tan-tan, a pistol bullet from ear to ear.
That picture which you had just now from the French Marquis for £1,000, that very picture that your very virtuous wife sent to the Marquis as a pledge of her very virtuous and dying affection, so that you are both robbed of your honour and cheated of your money.
Louder! Louder, madam!
I tell you, sir, your wife was a jilt. I know it. I'll swear it. She, virtuous? She was a devil.
Fa-la-da-ra!
Was ever the like seen? He won't hear me. I burst with malice, and now he won't mind me. Won't you hear me yet?
No, no, madam.
Nay, then I can't bear it.
Bursts out a-crying.
Sir, I must say that you're an unworthy person to use a woman of quality at this rate when she has her heart full of malice. I don't know, but it may make me miscarry. Sir, I say again and again that she was no better than one of us. And I know it. I have seen it with my eyes. So I have.
Good heavens, deliver me, I beseech thee. How shall I escape?
Will you hear me yet? Dear Sir Harry, do but hear me. I'm longing to speak.
Oh, I have it. Hush, hush, hush.
Eh? What's the matter?
A mouse. A mouse! A mouse!
Where? Where? Where?
Your petticoats, madam.
Lady Lorwell shrieks and runs off.
Oh, my head! I was never worsted by a woman before, but I have heard so much as to know the Marquis to be a villain.
Knocking.
Nay, then I must run for it.
Runs out and returns.
The entry is stopped by a chair coming in, and something there is in that chair that I will discover if I can find a place to hide myself.
Goes to the closet door.
Fast. I have keys about me for most locks about St. James. Let me see.
Tries one key.
No, no. This opens my Lady Planthorne's back door.
Tries another.
No, this. This is the key to my Lady Stakel's garden.
Tries a third.
Aye, this does it, faith.
Goes into the closet and peeps out. Enter Shark and Sailor with Clincher in a chair, Parley following.
Hold, friend. Who gave you orders to lug in your dirty chair into the house?
My master, sweetheart.
Who is your master, impudence?
Everyone, Saucebox. And for the present, here's my master. And if you have anything to say to him, there he is for ye.
Lugs Clincher out of the chair and throws him upon the floor.
Steer away, Tom.
Exit with sailor.
What the devil, Mr. Jubilee, is it you?
Bless me, the gentleman's dead. Murder! Murder!
Re-enter Lady Lorwell.
Protect me. What's the matter, Clincher?
Mr. Clincher, are you dead, sir?
Yes.
Oh, then 'tis well enough. Are you drunk, sir?
No.
Well, certainly I'm the most unfortunate woman living. All my affairs, all my designs, all my intrigues miscarry. Faugh, the beast! But, sir, what's the matter with you?
Politics.
Where have you been, sir?
Shark.
What shall we do with him, Polly? If the Colonel should come home now, we were ruined.
Enter Colonel Standard.
Oh, inevitable destruction.
Aye, aye, unless I relieve her now, all the world can't save her.
Bless me! What's here? Who are you, sir?
Brandy.
See there, madam. Behold the man that you prefer to me.
And such as he are all those top gallants that daily haunt my house, ruin your honour, and disturb my quiet. I urge not the sacred bond of marriage. I'll waive your earnest vows of truth to me, and only lay the case in equal balance, and see whose merit bears the greater weight, his or mine.
Well argued, Colonel.
Suppose yourself freely disengaged, unmarried, and to make a choice of him you thought most worthy of your love. Would you prefer a brute, a monkey, one destined only for the sport of man? Yes, take him to your bed. There let the beast disgorge his fulsome load in your fair, lovely bosom, snore out his passion in your soft embrace, and with the vapours of his sick debauch perfume your sweet apartment.
Ah, nauseous, nauseous, poison!
I ne'er was taught to set a value on myself, but when compared to him, there modesty must stoop, and indignation give my words a loose, to tell you, madam, that I am a man unblemished in my honour, have nobly served my king and country, and for a lady's service I think that nature has not been defective.
Gad, I should think so too. The fellow's well made.
I'm young as he. My person, too, is fair to outward view, and for my mind I thought it could distinguish right, and therefore made a choice of you. Your sex have blessed our isle with beauty, by distant nations prized, and could they place their loves aright, their lovers might acquire the envy of mankind, as well as they the wonder of the world.
Aye, now he coaxes. He will conquer unless I relieve her in time. She begins to melt already.
Add to all this, I love you next to heaven, and by that heaven I swear, the constant study of my days and nights have been to please my dearest wife. Your pleasure never met control from me, nor your desires a frown. I never mentioned my distrust before, nor will I now wrong your discretion, so as ever to think you made him an appointment.
Generous, generous man!
Weeps.
Nay, then, 'tis time for me. I will relieve her.
Steals out of the closet, and coming behind Colonel Standard, claps him on the shoulder.
Colonel, your humble servant.
Sir Harry, how came you hither?
Ah, poor fellow, thou hast got thy load with a witness, but the wine was humming strong. I've got a touch on't myself.
Reels a little.
Wine, Sir Harry? What wine?
Why, 'twas new Burgundy. Heady stuff. But the dog was soon gone, knocked under presently.
What, then Mr. Clincher was with you, it seems, eh?
Yes, faith, we've been together all this afternoon. 'Tis a pleasant foolish fellow. He would needs give me a welcome to town, on pretence of hearing all the news from the Jubilee. The humour was new to me. So to't we went, but 'tis a weak-headed coxcomb. 2 or 3 bumpers did his business.
Aside to Lady Lorwell.
Ah, madam, What do I deserve for this?
Look ye there, sir. You see how Sir Harry has cleared my innocence.
Aside to Sir Harry Wildair.
I'm obliged to ye, sir, but I must leave you to make it out.
Exit, Parley following.
Yes, yes, he has cleared you wonderfully. But pray, sir, I suppose you can inform me how Mr. Clincher came into my house, eh?
Aye. Why, you must know that the fool got presently as drunk as a drum. So I had him tumbled into a chair, and ordered the fellows to carry him home. Now you must know he lodges but 3 doors off, but the boobies, it seems, mistook the door, and brought him in here like a brace of loggerheads.
Oh yes, sad loggerheads, to mistake a door in James's for a house in Covent Garden.
Calls.
Here.
Enter footman.
Take away that brute.
Footmen carry off Clincher.
And you say 'twas new Burgundy, Sir Harry. Very strong?
Egad, there is some trick in this matter, and I shall be discovered. Aye, Colonel, but I must be gone. I'm engaged to meet... Colonel, I'm your humble servant.
Going.
But, Sir Harry, where's your hat, sir?
Aside.
Oh, morbleu! These hats, gloves, canes, and swords are the ruin of all our designs.
But where's your hat, Sir Harry?
Aside.
I'll never intrigue again with anything about me but what is just bound to my body. How shall I come off? Hark ye, Colonel, in your ear. I would not have your lady hear it. You must know, just as I came into the room here, what should I spy but a great mouse running across that closet door? I took no notice, for fear your lady should be frighted, but with all my force, d'ye see, I flung my hat at it, and so threw it into the closet, and there it lies.
And so, thinking to kill the mouse, you flung your hat into the closet?
Aye, aye, that was all. I'll go fetch it.
No, Sir Harry, I'll bring it out.
Goes into the closet.
Now I have told a matter of 20 lies in a breath.
Sir Harry, is this the mouse that you threw your hat at?
Returns with the hat in one hand, and holding in the marquis with the other.
I'm amazed.
Pardie, I'm amazed too.
Look ye, Monsieur Marquis. As for your part, I shall cut your throat, sir.
Give me leave. I must cut his throat first.
What? Both cut my throat? Beg monsieur, I have but one throat.
Re-enter Parley, running. To Colonel Standard.
Sir, the monsieur is innocent. He came upon another design. My lady begins to be penitent, and if you will make any noise, 'twill spoil all.
Look ye, gentlemen, I have too great a confidence in the virtue of my wife to think it in the power of you, or you, sir, to wrong my honour. But I am bound to guard her reputation, so that no attempts be made that may provoke a scandal. Therefore, gentlemen, let me tell you 'tis time to desist.
Exit, Parley following.
Aye, aye, so 'tis, faith. Come, monsieur, I must talk with you, sir.
Exeunt. End of Act 4. Act 5 of Sir Harry Wildair by George Farquhar. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Act 5, Scene 1. A room in Colonel Standard's house. Enter Colonel Standard and Captain Fireball.
In short, brother, a man may talk till doomsday of sin, hell, and damnation, but your rhetoric will never convince a lady that there's anything of a devil in a handsome fellow with a fine coat. You must show the cloven foot, expose the brute as I have done, and though her virtue sleeps, her pride will surely take the alarm.
Aye, but if you would let me cut off one of the rogue's ears before you sent him away...
No, no, the fool has served my turn without the scandal of a public resentment, and the effect has shown that my design was right. I've touched her very heart, and she relents apace.
Enter Lady Lurwell, running.
Oh, my dear, save me! I'm frightened out of my life.
Blood and fire, madam! Who dare touch you?
Draws his sword and stands before her.
Oh, sir, a ghost! A ghost! I have seen it twice.
Nay, then, we soldiers have nothing to do with ghosts. Send for the parson.
Sheathes his sword.
'Tis fancy, my dear, nothing but fancy.
Oh, dear Colonel, I'll never lie alone again. I'm frightened to death. I saw it twice. Twice it stalked by my chamber door, and with a hollow voice uttered a piteous groan.
This is strange. Ghosts by daylight. Come, my dear, along with me. Don't shrink. We'll see to find this ghost.
Excellent. Scene 2. A street. Enter Sir Harry Wildair, Marquis, and Dicky.
Dicky.
Sir?
Do you remember anything of £1,000 lent to my wife in Montpellier by a French gentleman?
Oui, Monsieur Dicky. You remember the gentleman? He was one Marquis.
Marquis, sir? I think, for my part, that all the men in France are Marquises. We met above 1,000 Marquises, but the devil of one of 'em could lend 1,000 pence, much less £1,000.
Morbleu, que dites-vous, bourre le chien?
Hold, sir. Pray answer me one question. What made you fly your country?
My religion, monsieur.
So, you fled for your religion out of France, and are a downright atheist in England. A very tender conscience, truly.
Beggar, monsieur, my conscience be de ver tendre. He no suffer not his master to starve, pardi.
Come, sir, no ceremony. Refund.
Refund? What is that refund? Parlez français, monsieur.
No, sir. I tell you in plain English, return my money, or I'll lay you by the heels.
Oh, beggar, there is the Angleman now. There is the law for me. The law. Écoute, monsieur, Sir Harry. Voyez ça. The France Marquis scorn the law. My brother lend your wife the money, and here is my witness.
Draws.
Your evidence, sir, is very positive, and shall be examined. But this is no place to try the cause. We'll cross the park into the fields. You shall throw down the money between us, and the best title upon a fair hearing shall take it up. Allons.
Oh, de tout mon cœur. Allons, fiez la tête, beggar.
Exeunt. Scene 3. A room in Colonel Standard's house. Enter Lady Lurwell and Parley.
Pshaw! I'm such a frightful fool. 'Twas nothing but a fancy. Come, Parley, get me a pen and ink, I'll divert it. Sir Harry shall know what a wife he had, I'm resolved. Though he would not hear me speak, he'll read my letter, sure.
Sits down to write. Within.
Hold.
Protect me. Parley, don't leave me. But I won't mind it.
Hold.
Defend me. Don't you hear a voice?
I thought so, madam.
It called hold. I will venture once more.
Sits down to write.
Disturb no more the quiet of the dead.
Now 'tis plain I heard the words.
Deliver us, madam, and forgive us our sins. What is it?
Enter Ghost. Lady Lurwell and Parley shriek and run to a corner of the stage.
Behold the airy form of wronged Angelica, forced from the shades below to vindicate her fame. Forbear, malicious woman, thus to load with scandalous reproach the grave of innocence. Repent, vain woman! Thy matrimonial vow is registered above, and all the breaches of that solemn faith are registered below. I'm sent to warn thee to repent. Forbear to wrong thy injured husband's bed. Disturb no more the quiet of the dead.
Stalks off. Lady Lurwell swoons. Parley supports her.
Help! Help! Help!
Enter Colonel Standard and Captain Fireball.
Bless us! What? Fainting? What's the matter?
Breeding, sir.
Oh, sir, we're frightened to death. Here has been the ghost again.
Ghost? Why, you're mad, sure. What ghost?
The ghost of Angelica, Sir Harry Wildair's wife.
Angelica?
Yes, sir, and here it preached to us the Lord knows what, and murdered my mistress with mere morals.
Good hearing, sir. 'Twill do her good.
Take her in, Parley.
Parley leads out Lady Lurwell.
What can this mean, brother?
The meaning's plain. There's a design of communication between your wife and Sir Harry, so his wife is come to forbid the banns, that's all.
No, no, brother. If I may be induced to believe the walking of ghosts, I rather fancy that the rattle-headed fellow, her husband, has broke the poor lady's heart, which, together with the indignity of her burial, has made her uneasy in her grave. But whatever the cause, it's fit we immediately find out Sir Harry and inform him.
Exeunt. Scene 4. The Park. Lord Bellamy and others discovered walking about. Sir Harry Wildair and Marquis enter and pass hastily over the stage.
Sir Harry!
My lord! Monsieur, I'll follow you, sir.
Exit Marquis.
I must talk with you, sir.
Pray, my lord, let it be very short, for I was never in more haste in my life.
May I presume, sir, to inquire the cause that detained you so late last night at my house?
More mischief again. Perhaps, my lord, I may not presume to inform you.
Then perhaps, sir, I may presume to extort it from you.
Look you, my lord, don't frown. It spoils your face. But if you must know, your lady owes me 200 guineas, and that sum I will presume to extort from your lordship.
200 guineas? Have you anything to show for it?
Show for it, my lord. I showed Quintin 14 for it, and to a man of honour, that's as firm as a bond and judgment.
Come, sir, this won't pass upon me. I'm a man of honour.
Honour? 'Tis very strange that some men, though their education be never so gallant, will ne'er learn breeding. Look ye, my lord, when you and I were under the tuition of our governors, and conversed only with old Cicero, Livy, Virgil, Plutarch, and the like, why then, such a man was a villain, and such a one was a man of honour. But now that I have known the court, a little of what they call the beau monde and the bel esprit, I find that honour looks as ridiculous as Roman buskins upon your lordship, or my full peruke upon Scipio Africanus.
Why should you think so, sir?
Because the world's improved, my lord, and we find that this honour is a very troublesome and impertinent thing. Can't we live together like good neighbours and Christians, as they do in France? I lend you my coach, I borrow yours. You dine with me, I sup with you. I lie with your wife, and you lie with mine. Honour, that's such an impertinence. Pray, my lord, hear me. What does your honour think of murdering your friend's reputation, making a jest of his misfortunes, cheating him at cards, debauching his bed, or the like?
Why, rank villainy.
Pish, pish! Nothing but good manners, excess of good manners. Why, you haven't been at court lately. There 'tis the only practice to show our wit and breeding. As, for instance, your friend reflects upon you when absent, because 'tis good manners, rallies you when present, because 'tis witty, cheats you at piquet to show he has been in France, and lies with your wife to show he's a man of quality.
Very well, sir.
In short, my lord, you have a wrong notion of things. Should a man with a handsome wife revenge all affronts done to his honour, poor White, Chaves, Morris, Locket, Paulet, and Pontac were utterly ruined.
How so, sir?
Because, my lord, you must run all the customers quite through the body. Were it not for abusing your men of honour, taverns and chocolate houses could not subsist. and were there but a round tax laid upon scandal and false politics, we men of figure would find it much heavier than 4 shillings in the pound. Come, come, my lord, no more on't. For shame. Your honour is safe enough, for I have the key of its back door in my pocket.
Runs off.
Sir, I shall meet you another time.
Exit. Scene 5. The Fields. Enter Marquis with a footman carrying his fighting equipage, pumps, caps, etc. He dresses himself accordingly and flourishes about the stage.
Ça, fier la tête. Ça, embuscade. Quoi, sur le double? Hey!
Enter Sir Harry Wildair.
Ha, ha, ha! The devil! Must I fight with a tumbler? These French are as great fops in their quarrels as in their amours.
Allons, strip.
No, no, sir. I never strip to engage a man. I fight as I dance. Come, sir, down with the money.
Der it is parti.
Lays down the bag between them.
Allons.
Enter Dicky, and gives Sir Harry a gun.
Morbleu, qu'est-ce ça?
Now, monsieur, if you offer to stir, I'll shoot you through the head. Dicky, take up the money and carry it home.
Aside.
Here it is, faith. And if my master be killed, the money's my own.
Takes up the bag, and exit with footman.
Oh, morbleu, the Anglais be one coward.
Where's your France politique now? Come, monsieur, you must know I scorn to fight any man for my own. But now we're upon the level, and since you have been at the trouble of putting on your habiliments, I must requite your pains. So come on, sir.
Lays down the gun and uses his sword.
Come on? For what? When the money is gone, the Frenchmen fight where there is no profit. Pardonnez-moi, pardi.
Sits down to pull off his pumps.
Hold, sir, you must fight. Tell me how you came by this picture.
Starting up.
Why then, beggar, monsieur Chevalier, since the money be gone, me will speak the verité. Pardon, monsieur, me did make the cockle of you, and your wife send me the picture for my pain.
Look you, sir, if I thought you had merit enough to gain a lady's heart from me, I would shake hands immediately and be friends. But as I believe you to be a vain, scandalous liar, I'll cut your throat.
They fight. Enter Colonel Standard and Captain Fireball, who part them.
Hold, gentlemen. Brother, secure the Marquis. Come, Sir Harry, put up. I have something to say to you, very serious.
Say it quickly, then, for I'm a little out of humour and want something to make me laugh.
As they talk, Marquis dresses, and Captain Fireball helps him.
Will what's very serious make you laugh?
Most of all.
Pshaw. Pray, Sir Harry, tell me what made you leave your wife.
Ha, 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 I knew it. Pray, Colonel, what makes you stay with your wife?
Nay, but pray answer me directly. I beg it as a favour.
Why then, Colonel, you must know we were a pair of the most happy, toying, foolish people in the world, till she got, I don't know how, a crotchet of jealousy in her head. This made her frumpish, but we had ne'er an angry word. She only fell a-crying overnight, and I went for Italy the next morning. But pray, no more on't. Are you hurt, monsieur?
But, Sir Harry, you'll be serious when I tell you that her ghost appears.
Her ghost? Ha, ha, ha! That's pleasant, faith.
As sure as fate, it walks in my house.
In your house? Come along, Colonel. By the lard, I'll kiss it.
Exit with Colonel Standard.
Monsieur le Capitaine, adieu.
Adieu? No, sir. You shall follow Sir Harry.
For what?
For what? Why, do you think I'm such a rogue as to part a couple of gentlemen when they're fighting, and not see 'em make an end on't? I think it's a sin to part man and wife. Come along, sir.
Exit, pulling Marquis. Scene 6. A room in Colonel Standard's house. Enter Sir Harry Wildair and Colonel Standard.
Well, then, this it seems is the enchanted chamber. The ghost has pitched upon a handsome apartment, however. Well, Colonel, when do you intend to begin?
What, sir?
To laugh at me. I know you design it.
Ah, by all that's powerful, there it is.
Enter Ghost, and walks across the stage.
The devil it is. Blood, I speak to it. Vous, Mademoiselle Ghost, parlez-vous français? No. Hark you, Mrs. Ghost, will your ladyship be pleased to inform us who you are, that we may pay you the respect due to your quality?
I am the spirit of thy departed wife.
Are you, faith? Why then, here's the body of thy living husband, and stand me if you dare.
Runs to her and embraces her.
Ha! 'Tis substance, I'm sure. But hold, Lady Ghost, stand off a little, and tell me in good earnest now, whether you are alive or dead.
Throwing off her shroud.
Alive, alive.
Runs and throws her arm about his neck.
And never lived so much as in this moment.
What do you think of the ghost now, Colonel?
She hangs upon him.
Is it not a very loving ghost?
Amazement.
It is amazement, truly. Look ye, madam, I hate to converse so familiarly with spirits. Pray keep your distance.
I am alive. Indeed I am.
I don't believe a word on't.
Moving away.
Sir Harry, you're more afraid now than before.
Aye, most men are more afraid of a living wife than a dead one.
'Tis good manners to leave you together, however.
Exit.
'Tis unkind, my dear, after so long and tedious an absence, to act the stranger so. I now shall die in earnest, and must forever vanish from your sight.
Weeping and going.
Hold, madam, don't be angry, my dear. You took me unprovided. Had you but sent me word of your coming, I had got 3 or 4 speeches out of Urunako and the Mourning Bride upon this occasion that would have charmed your very heart. But we'll do as well as we can. I'll have the music from both houses. Paulet and Locket shall contrive for our taste. We'll charm our ears with Abel's voice, feast our eyes with one another, and thus, with all our senses tuned to love, we'll hurl off our clothes, leap into bed, and there— Look you, madam, if I don't welcome you home with raptures more natural and more moving than all the plays in Christendom, I'll say no more.
As mad as ever.
But ease my wonder first, and let me know the riddle of your death.
Your unkind departure hence, and your avoiding me abroad, made me resolve, since I could not live with you, to die to all the world besides. I fancied that though it exceeded the force of love, yet the power of grief perhaps might change your humour, and therefore had it given out that I died in France. My sickness at Montpellier, which indeed was next to death, and the affront offered to the body of our ambassador's chaplain at Paris, conduced to have my burial private. This deceived my retinue, and by the assistance of my woman and your faithful servant, I got into man's clothes, came home into England, and sent him to observe your motions abroad, with orders not to undeceive you till your return. Here I met you in the quality of Beau Banter, your busy brother, under which disguise I have disappointed your design upon my Lady Lurwell, and in the form of a ghost have revenged the scandal she this day threw upon me, and have frightened her sufficiently from lying alone. I did resolve to have frightened you likewise, but you were too hard for me.
How weak, how squeamish, and how fearful are women when they want to be humoured, and how extravagant, how daring, and how provoking when they get the impertinent maggot in their head. But by what means, my dear, could you purchase this double disguise? How came you by my letter to my brother?
By intercepting all your letters since I came home. But for my ghostly contrivance, good Mrs. Parley, moved by the justness of my cause and the bribe, was my chief engineer.
Enter Captain Fireball and Marquis.
Sir Harry, if you have a mind to fight it out, there's your man. If not, I've discharged my trust.
Oh, monsieur, won't you salute your mistress, sir?
Oh, morbleu. Beggar, me must run to some other country now for my religion.
Oh, what, the French Marquis? I know him.
Aye, my dear, you do know him. And I can't be angry, because 'tis the fashion for ladies to know everybody. But methinks, madam, that picture now. Hang it, considering 'twas my gift, you might have kept it. But no matter. My neighbours shall pay for it.
Picture, my dear? Could you think I ever would part with that? No, of all my jewels, this alone I kept, 'cause 'twas given by you.
Shows the picture.
Eh, wonderful! And what's this?
Pulling out the other picture.
They are very much alike.
So like that one might fairly pass for t'other. Monsieur Marquis, écoute. You did lie with my wife, and she did give you the picture for your pain. Come, sir, add to your France politique a little of your native impudence, and tell us plainly how you came by it.
Beggar, Monsieur Chevalier, when the Frenchman can tell no more lie than will he tell truth. I was acquainted with the painter of that royal lady's picture, and I give him 10 pistoles for the copy. And so me have the picture of all the beauty in London, and by this politique me have the reputation to lie with them all.
When perhaps your pleasure never reached above a pit mask in your life.
And beggar, for that matter, the nature of women, a pit mask is as good as the best. The pleasure is nothing, the glory is all à la mode de France.
Struts out.
Go thy ways for a true pattern of the vanity, impertinence, subtlety, and ostentation of thy country. Look ye, Captain, give me thy hand. Once I was a friend to France, but henceforth I promise to sacrifice my fashions, coaches, wigs, and vanity to horses, arms, and equipage, and serve my king in propria persona, to promote a vigorous war if there be occasion.
Bravely said, Sir Harry, and if all the beaux in the side boxes were of your mind, we would send 'em back to La Baie and Boulogne and show 'em a new dance to the tune of Harry V.
Re-enter Colonel Standard with Lady Lurwell, Dicky, and Parley.
Oh, Colonel! Such discoveries!
Sir, I have heard all from your servant. Honest Dicky has told me the whole story.
Why, then let Dicky run for the fiddles immediately.
Oh, sir, I knew what it would come to. They're here already, sir.
Goes to the door and brings in musicians.
Then, Colonel, we'll have a new wedding, and begin it with a dance. Strike up!
A dance.
Now, Sir Harry, we have retrieved our wives, yours from death and mine from the devil, and they are at present very honest. But how shall we keep them so?
By being good husbands, sir. And the great secret for keeping matters right in wedlock is never to quarrel with your wives for trifles. For we are but babies at best, and must have our playthings, our longings, our vapours, our frights, our monkeys, our china, our fashions, our washes, our patches, our waters, our tattle and impertinence. Therefore I say, 'tis better to let a woman play the fool, than provoke her to play the devil.
And another rule, gentlemen, let me advise you to observe, never to be jealous, or if you should, be sure never to let your wife think you suspect her, for we are more restrained by the scandal of the lewdness than by the wickedness of the fact. When once a woman has borne the shame of a whore, she'll dispatch you the sin in a moment.
We're obliged to you, ladies, for your advice, and in return give me leave to give you the definition of a good wife in the character of my own. The wit of her conversation never outstrips the conduct of her behaviour. She's affable to all men, free with no man, and only kind to me. Often cheerful, sometimes gay, and always pleased but when I am angry, then sorry, not sullen. The park, playhouse, and cards she frequents in compliance with custom, but her diversions of inclination are at home. She's more cautious of a remarkable woman than of a noted wit, well knowing that the infection of her own sex is more catching than the temptation of ours. To all this, she is beautiful to a wonder, scorns all devices that engage a gallant, and uses all arts to please her husband. So, spite of satire against a married life, a man is truly blessed with such a wife.
Exunt omnes. Epilogue, by a friend, spoken by Monsieur le Marquis.
Ventre bleu! Where is this damned poet? Where? Garçon, me will cut off all his two ears. Je suis enragé? Now he is not here. He is a friend de French, le villain bête. The French, your best friend. You suffer that? Parbleu. Monsieur, I serais fort ingrate. What have you English that you can call your own? What have you of grand plaisir in this town, without it come from France, that will go down? Piquet, basset, your wine, your dress, your dance, 'tis all you see to a la mode de France. The beau there buy 100 knick-knack. He carry out wit, but seldom bring it back. But then he bring a snuff-box hinge, so small the joint, you can no see the work at all. Cost him 5 pistoles. That is cheap enough. In 3 years it shall save half an ounce of snuff. The coquette she have her taffia there, her gown, her complexion, the year, her lover. As for the cockle, that indeed you can make here. The French it is that teach the lady wear the short muff, with a white elbow bare, the beau the large muff with his sleeve down there.
Pointing to his fingers.
We teach your wife to ope their husband's purses, to put their fobello on their coach and their horses. Garçon, we teach you everything the while, for why then your damn poet dare to snarl? Beggar, me will be revenge upon his play. 3,000 refugees, parbleu c'est vrai. They'll all come here, and damn him upon his 3rd day.
End of Sir Harry Wildair by George Farquhar.